It's episode 70 of the Digital Marketing Masters podcast. I am Yolanda Rose, digital marketer, and every week on this podcast, I bring you tips, content, and strategies that you can use to grow your business online almost immediately. So if you're new on the show, if it's your first time listening, please consider subscribing to this podcast on whichever app you're listening on right now. Please subscribe to the show. And if you're listening on YouTube, download the app, a podcasting app like Apple or Spotify, and subscribe to the show. And every Monday, you will get a new episode of the Digital Marketing Masters podcast. Now, as you know, I am a digital marketer and I help various clients all across the world. And today we're doing a case study on what strategies are working right now on Facebook, and a little bit of background about this client. She is in the wellness and nutrition industries, and she's also in the homeschooling industry as well, where she's doing group tutoring, I would say. And she also releases a lot of educational material. So she's she's actually taking a new bunch of clients. And she's got a package together, and she hired me to assist her with her marketing. And I just wanted to share with you some of the results that we have been getting with this. Okay, so the client came up with the copy. I tweaked it a bit for obvious reasons, for SEO purposes and the various rules that Facebook has given us. And we tried a few images. We tried a bunch of images, one with her, one with general homeschooling stuff. And we were generating leads. The flow or the funnel was ad to a cold audience where we had our target market already defined. So we had the ad running to a cold audience to capture them into the webinar, a free webinar, a whole bunch of giveaways. So that's what we did. The objective that we used for this particular, the first round of ads was obviously the conversion ad, where we wanted people to convert on the landing page that we were sending them to. So we tried this for about 2-3 days, and I obviously was not happy with the result. We were picking up leads for around $4.50, and for me that freaked me out a bit because I know I can do better than that. So round two. So with round two, we kept the same copy. However, we took out the images and we went in with a video, and we did the same thing, exact same copy, same targeting. Everything is the same objective, everything. We came back with a lead of $2. That was better, but I felt that we could do much, much better than that. So we went back with round three, and this is currently running now in targeting a US and Canadian market. So we had our copy. Exact same copy, not a word changed. Maybe the layout of the text was maybe played out a little bit better, a few more gaps, a few more images. We used the same video that we used in round two of our ads, but this is what we did differently here. And I think this was a major one. We took the client's mailing list, the client's emailing list that she's had previously. She has about, I would say, 4,000 or so leads on there. So we took that list, we uploaded that into Facebook, and then I created a lookalike audience based on the people that are on a list. Because if people are on a list, they know for a while, they like the content that she's putting out, and we need to target similar people like that to buy from her. So we created that lookalike audience. And for the last week or so, we're running leads at around 70 cents. So we had a massive reduction. So the campaign is going really well. So at this point, I just wanted to tell you the value of the lookalike audience. I know the strategy came out a couple of years ago when Facebook did come up with the lookalike audience. In this specific case, we were using a 1% lookalike audience. So what lookalike audiences? It just basically gives you a way for you to reach new people who are likely to be interested in your business because they have similar characteristics to your best existing customers. So in context, you can create a lookalike audience from various sources. So your source audience could be a custom audience, like in the case with my client. And that source can be from a pixel, it could be from a mobile app, or it could even be fans on your page. So Facebook will identify the common qualities of these people. For example, maybe the common quality is demographic information or interests or jobs or educational level or where they are in their life cycle. Whatever the common denominators are, Facebook is going to pick that up. And then they will deliver your ad to an audience of people who are similar or look like the source audience that you have identified. So you can choose the size of the lookalike audience during the creation process. The smaller audiences are more closely match your source audience, like when you keep it to 1%. The further you go away from that 1%, obviously, they're going to have less of the common denominators there. So when creating a larger audience, this increases your potential reach, but it reduces the level of similarity between the lookalike audience and the source audience. So I would recommend a source audience of between 1,000 to 50,000 people. So if you have a list with 1,000 people on it, you're going to be good to go to create a source audience. If you have a list of below 1,000 people, you want to throw some lead magnets out there, and you want to get an audience that's a little bit more close to 1,000. So the quality of the source also matters. I mean, for example, if a source audience is made up of your best customers rather than all your customers, that could lead to better results. So here are some additional bits of information to consider when you are creating lookalike audiences. So your lookalike audience will only include people from the country or countries you select during the creation. So obviously, if you are targeting multiple countries, you got to create that at your setup phase of your lookalike audience. Your source audience must contain at least 100 people from a single country in order for Facebook to use it as a basis for a lookalike audience. So if you are running the multi-country lookalike audiences, at least 100 from each country, please. You can create up to 500 lookalike audiences from a single source audience. So that lookalike audience can be a certain age demographic. It could be only men, it could be only women. You've got 500 options to play with here. The people in your source audience will be excluded from your lookalike audience. So that prevents duplication, saves you on your ad bill as well. The exception here is that if you're using a pixel as your source audience, then your original source audience will be included because obviously that audience is part of your pixelated audience. You can also use multiple lookalike audiences at the same time for a single ad set. So an ad set will target your ads to people who are in any of the selected lookalike audiences. So that in a nutshell is basically how to get started with the lookalike audience. So when you're creating an ad with a lookalike audience, you create an ad as usual. And just before you start your targeting, on the top panel, before your geography, you have the option of custom audiences. And that is where you go in and you identify the lookalike audience that you have created previously. So the lookalike audience is giving you lots of options. It is definitely bringing down your ad cost. And at this time, when small businesses are in a crunch, you want to be bringing down your ad budgets, but you still want a quality audience. Lookalike audiences at this point is going to be your best bet. And I know it's working right now. It's definitely working in a North American market. And I'll give you updates soon on outside North America, like India and Africa as well. So stay tuned for that in a couple of episodes' time. So that's it for me on this episode of the Digital Marketing Masters podcast. I'll chat to you soon.